Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of the UES Horizon, watching the stars streak past as his ship pushed through hyperspace. He had been exploring the galaxy for 3 years now, ever since humanity had finally cracked the secret of faster-than-light travel. So far, they had found nothing but empty worlds and dead systems. The captain called out Dr. Lisa Park from her science station. "I'm picking up something strange on the long-range sensors. There's a massive energy signature about 2 light-years ahead." Jake turned to look at her. Lisa was the best xenobiologist Earth had ever produced, though she had never actually studied any aliens. No one had. Humanity was alone in the universe, or so they thought. "What kind of energy signature?" Jake asked. "It's artificial. Definitely not natural. And it's huge, sir. Like nothing I've ever seen before." Lieutenant Ryan Bell, the ship's security chief, looked up from his station. "Could be trouble, Captain. Maybe we should be careful." Jake nodded. Ryan was a former Marine who had seen action in the resource wars back on Earth. If Ryan was worried, Jake listened. "Take us out of hyperspace," Jake ordered. "Let's get a better look." The horizon dropped back into normal space, and the view screen filled with an incredible sight. Hundreds of ships floated in formation around what looked like a massive space station. The station was beautiful, all smooth curves and gleaming metal. The ships were just as elegant, with no visible weapons or armor. "My God," whispered Dr. Park. "They're aliens." Before anyone could respond, the communications panel lit up. A voice came through the speakers, speaking perfect English. "Unknown vessel. This is Survey Command Station Harmony 7. Please identify yourself and state your intentions." Jake felt his heart racing. First contact. This was the moment humanity had dreamed about for centuries. "This is Captain Jake Morrison of the United Earthship Horizon," he said into the microphone. "We come in peace. We're explorers from the planet Earth." There was a long pause, and the alien voice came back, sounding confused. "Earth. We have no record of this world in our databases. Are you perhaps using an old designation?" "What is your species designation?" "We're humans," Jake said. "We're new to space travel. This is our first contact with another intelligent species." Another pause, longer this time. "Please stand by," the voice said. "We are consulting with our xenobiological experts." Dr. Park was frantically working at her station, scanning the alien ships. "Captain, these readings are incredible. Their technology is centuries ahead of ours. But I'm not detecting any weapons. None at all." "That's strange," Ryan said. "Every ship we've ever built has some kind of defensive systems." The alien voice returned. "Captain Morrison, we would like to invite you to dock with our station. Our council is very interested in meeting a new species. We have prepared a diplomatic suite for you." Jake looked at his crew. They all nodded. This was too important to pass up. "We accept your invitation," Jake said. An hour later, Jake found himself walking through the corridors of the alien station with Dr. Park and Ambassador Kate Williams, who had been asleep in her quarters when the contact happened. The station was even more beautiful inside than outside. Everything was soft and rounded, with no sharp edges anywhere. The lighting was warm and gentle. Their guide was a tall, thin creature with pale blue skin and large, dark eyes. It moved with graceful steps and spoke in a melodious voice. "Welcome to Harmony 7, it said. "I am Coordinator Velnim. We are so excited to meet you. It has been 700 years since we discovered a new species." 700 years? Kate asked. She was Earth's best diplomat, but even she seemed overwhelmed by the situation. "Oh yes," Velnim said happily. "The galaxy's very peaceful. Now, all species work together in harmony. We share resources and knowledge freely. There's no conflict anywhere." They entered a large room where several other aliens waited. Jake counted at least 6 different species, all as elegant and peaceful looking. As Velnim, "Please sit," said one of the aliens, a creature that looked like a cross between a bird and a flower. "Tell us about your world. What is it like?" Dr. Park smiled. "Earth is beautiful. We have vast oceans, tall mountains, and dense forests. The weather changes with the seasons." "Seasons?" asked another alien. this one resembling a walking crystal formation. Your world has climate variations? Oh yes, Lisa said. In winter, much of our planet is covered in snow and ice. In summer, it can get very hot. We have storms too, sometimes very powerful ones. The aliens looked at each other with what Jake thought might be concern. Storms? Velnum asked. You mean your weather is? It's unpredictable? Well, yes, Jake said. We have hurricanes, tornadoes, blizzards, sometimes earthquakes shake the ground. We have volcanoes that can erupt without warning. The room fell silent. Several of the aliens made soft sounds that might have been distress calls. Your people, said the bird-like alien slowly. How do they survive in such conditions? Jake was confused. We adapt. We build stronger houses. Learn to predict the weather. We'll help each other when disasters happen. Disasters. The crystal alien's voice was barely a whisper. Sure, Kate said. Floods, fires, earthquakes.
Hi there.
Part of life on Earth. We've learned to deal with them. Velnum said, How do you live with such constant danger? How do you maintain peace and harmony when your world is trying to kill you? Jake realized something was very wrong. These aliens seemed terrified by things that humans considered normal. Our world isn't trying to kill us, he said carefully. It's just ... challenging. We've evolved to handle it. Evolved? The bird alien stood up suddenly. You mean your species developed under these harsh conditions? Well, yes, Dr. Park said. Natural selection. The strong survive, the weak don't. It's made us pretty tough. Several aliens made sounds that were definitely distress calls now. You fight for survival? Asked the crystal alien. Sometimes, Ryan said. We had been quiet until now. When we have to fight. Velnum's voice was shaking. You engage in combat? Only when necessary, Jake said quickly. We're peaceful people. But yes, sometimes we have to defend ourselves. The room erupted in panicked alien voices. They were talking in their own languages now, but Jake could tell they were upset. Finally, Velnum turned back to them. Forgive us. This is difficult for us to understand. In our galaxy, all intelligent species evolved on garden worlds. Peaceful planets, with stable climates and abundant resources. We have never encountered a species that developed under hostile conditions. You've never had to fight? Kate asked. Fight? Velnum looked confused. Why would we fight? There is enough of everything for everyone. We share what we have. But what about predators? Dr. Park asked. Dangerous animals? We have no predators, said the bird alien. Our worlds have only gentle herbivores. No creature hunts another for food. Jake felt a chill run down his spine. These aliens had no concept of violence, of struggle, of survival. They had lived in paradise for so long that they had forgotten what it meant to be strong. Captain Morrison, Velnum said, we must ask you to remain here while we consult with the High Council. Your species is ... unprecedented. We do not know what to do with beings who have learned to survive by fighting, so they were escorted to their quarters. Jay couldn't shake the feeling that humanity had just become either the galaxy's greatest hope or its greatest threat. The aliens were advanced, peaceful, and wise. But they were also soft. And somewhere in the back of his mind, Jake wondered what would happen when these gentle beings encountered something that couldn't be reasoned with. Something that didn't want to share. Something that wanted to destroy. 3 weeks had passed since the first meeting, and Captain Jake Morrison was getting restless. The aliens had been polite but distant, keeping the human crew in comfortable quarters while they debated what to do. Jake spent his time reading reports from the Harmony's databases, learning about their peaceful galaxy. Dr. Lisa Park knocked on his door. Captain, you need to see this. The Harmony Council has made a decision. Jake followed her to the meeting room, where Ambassador Kate Williams was already waiting. Velnum entered with several other aliens, including a new one Jake hadn't seen. Before, this alien was larger than the others, with thick gray skin and multiple arms. Captain Morrison, Velnum said, this is Commander Sam Rodriguez of your species. He arrived yesterday on another of your ships. Jake was surprised. Sam, what are you doing here? Sam Rodriguez was a military officer Jake had known for years. He was tough, experienced, and had seen combat in every major conflict of the past decade. Sam smiled grimly. Earth sent me when they heard about first contact, Sam said. They thought you might need some backup. Turns out they were right. The large gray alien stepped forward. I am Counselor Zefka of the Harmony Science Division. We have been studying your species' claims about your homeworld. We find them... ... Difficult to believe. Difficult to believe, Kate asked. Your descriptions of Earth's environment are beyond anything we thought possible for intelligent life, Zefka said. We would like to send a scientific mission to your world to verify these claims. Dr. Park leaned forward. You don't believe us? We want to believe you, Velnum said carefully. But some of our scientists think you may be exaggerating to make yourselves seem more impressive. Sam laughed, a sound that made several aliens step back. You think we're lying about how tough Earth is? We think you may be confused about what constitutes a harsh environment, Zefka said. Perhaps what you call dangerous is simply normal variation that you have not learned to predict. Jake looked at his crew. They had expected many things from first contact, but being called liars wasn't one of them. Fine, Jake said. You can come to Earth, but you'll need to bring serious protective gear. 2 months later, a small fleet of Harmony ships followed the horizon back to Earth. The alien ships were equipped with the best environmental protection the Harmony could provide. The aliens themselves wore full environmental suits that could handle anything from radiation to toxic gases. Dr. Alex Chen, Earth's leading evolutionary biologist, met them at the orbital station. He was a calm, scholarly man who had spent his life studying how life adapted to extreme conditions. Welcome to Earth, he said to the alien delegation. I understand you want to see our world for yourselves. You want to understand how intelligent life could develop in such an environment, Zefka said through his suit speaker. Our models suggest it should be impossible. Well, Dr. Chen said, let's start with something simple. We're going to visit a park in North America. It's summer there, so the weather should be pleasant. The shuttle landed in Yellowstone National Park on a bright, sunny day. Temperature was a comfortable 75 degrees. To the humans, it was a perfect day for a hike. The aliens stepped off the shuttle in their environmental suits, their sensors scanning everything around them. Within minutes, alarms started going off. The ground is unstable, one alien scientist reported. I'm detecting seismic activity. That's just the geysers, Dr. Chen said. The park sits on top of a volcano. It's been dormant for thousands of years. Volcano. Svelka's voice was strained. You built a recreation area on top of a volcano. It's perfectly safe, Dr. Chen said. The last eruption was 70,000 years ago. The aliens exchanged glances that were visible even through their helmets. To them, 70,000 years was nothing. The volcano could erupt any day. They walked to the famous Old Faithful geyser, which was due to erupt soon. The aliens set up their equipment at what they considered a safe distance, about half a mile away. The humans stood much closer, chatting casually. When the geyser erupted, shooting boiling water and steam hundreds of feet into the air, the alien suits went into emergency mode. Their life support systems kicked into high gear, and several of them were knocked over by the ground vibrations. Fascinating, Dr. Chen said, making notes on his tablet. The eruption was about 30 seconds longer than usual. You stand that close to boiling water shooting from the ground? Velnum asked, his voice shaking. It's just a geyser, Lisa said. We've been watching them for centuries. They're predictable. The aliens were quiet for a long time. The next day, they visited the coast of California. The ocean was rough, with 6-foot waves crashing against the rocks. Surfers were out in the water, riding the waves for fun. The humans are in the water, one alien observed. During a storm? That's not a storm, Sam said. That's just normal surf. Great day for swimming? To prove his point, Sam stripped down to swimming trunks and dove into the ocean. The aliens watched in horror as he swam out beyond the breakers, fighting against waves that could have crushed their fragile bodies. The water temperature is 58 degrees, an alien scientist reported. That's cold enough to cause hypothermia. Sam's. From Maine, Jake said. This is warm to him. When Sam came back, he was grinning and dripping wet. You should try it, he told the aliens. The water's perfect. The aliens' environmental suits were reading the ocean as a toxic environment, unsuitable. For any life form they knew, that afternoon they experienced their first thunderstorm. The aliens had never seen lightning before. Their homeworlds had gentle weather systems that never produced such violent displays. When the first lightning bolt struck, the alien suits went into full emergency mode. They huddled together, their equipment registering electromagnetic pulses that would have fried their unprotected electronics. The humans stood outside, watching the storm with appreciation. "Beautiful, isn't it?" Dr. Chen said as thunder rolled across the sky. "You're not seeking shelter?" Zefka asked. "From this little storm?" Kate laughed. "This is nothing. You should see a real thunderstorm." The aliens made distressed sounds. This was their idea of a catastrophic weather event. The final test came when Dr. Chen took them to a restaurant in Denver. He ordered mild chicken curry for everyone, making sure to tell the waiter to make it very mild. When the food arrived, the aliens tried to analyze it with their equipment. Before eating, their sensors went crazy. "This food contains capsaicin," one alien reported. "It's a toxic compound that causes cellular damage." "That's just the spice," Dr. Chen said, taking a big bite. "It's barely noticeable." The aliens watched in amazement as the humans ate food that their equipment classified as poisonous. Dr. Chen even asked for hot sauce to make it more flavorful. "You consume toxins for pleasure?" Velnum asked. "We don't think of it as toxic," Lisa said. "We think of it as tasty." That evening, the alien delegation gathered in their ship to discuss what they had learned. The humans could hear them through the communication system, debating in their own languages. Finally, Zefka called for a meeting. "We owe you an apology," he said. "We did not believe your claims about Earth's environment. Now we understand that you were not exaggerating. If anything, you were understating the dangers. We also understand something else," Velnum added. "Your species has not just survived in this environment. You have thrived. You have become strong in ways we never imagined possible." "But we have a problem," Zefka said. "There are rumors coming from the Outer Rim. Pirates have been attacking our trade routes. They use violence to take what they want." "Pirates?" Jake asked. "Beings who have rejected the Harmony's peaceful ways," Zefka explained. "They have formed their own alliance and are becoming bolder. Our defense force does not know how to deal with them." "What do you mean?" Sam asked. "We have no experience with violence," Velnum said. "We have forgotten how to fight. When the pirates attack, we can only run or surrender." The humans looked at each other. They were beginning to understand why the aliens had been so interested in Earth's warriors. "Maybe we can help," Jake said. "Help?" Zefka asked. "You said you've forgotten how to fight," Sam said. "We haven't." The aliens were quiet for a long moment. "You would fight for us?" Velnum asked. "We would fight with you," Jake corrected. "If you want to learn." And with those words, the galaxy's first Deathworld warriors offered to teach the children of paradise how to defend themselves. Colonel Matt Davis stood in the briefing room of the Harmony Defense Station, looking at the holographic display showing the latest pirate attacks. The map was covered in red dots, each one representing a successful raid by the Outer Rim pirates. The attacks were getting closer to the core worlds. "They hit another convoy yesterday," reported Commander Sam Rodriguez. 15 ships carrying medical supplies to the Kepler system. The pirates took everything and left the crews stranded. Beside him, Dr. Lisa Park studied the tactical data. The Harmony Defense Force responded, but they arrived 6 hours after the attack. By then, the pirates were long gone. Colonel Davis had arrived from Earth 3 weeks ago with a full military advisory team. He was a veteran of the Martian Independence War and had spent 20 years fighting in the most dangerous places humanity had ever found. Looking at the alien officers around the table, he could see they were desperate. Admiral Kethvor Davis said to the Harmony's senior military commander, "Tell me about your standard response to these attacks." Admiral Kethvor was a tall, graceful being with silver skin and large, kind eyes. Like all Harmony military officers, he had never actually fought in a real battle. "We dispatch our fastest ships to the attack location," Kethvor said. "We scan for survivors and provide medical assistance. Then we file a report and increase patrols in the area." "But you don't pursue the pirates?" Davis asked. Pursue them where? Kethvor looked confused. Space is vast. By the time we arrive, they could be anywhere. Davis exchanged glances with Sam Rodriguez. Harmony's idea of military response was basically emergency medical services. What about when you do encounter the pirates? Davis asked. What's your standard engagement protocol? We attempt to establish communication, Kethvir said. We offer to negotiate. We try to understand what they want and see if we can reach a peaceful solution. And if they shoot at you, we withdraw to a safe distance and call for reinforcements. Davis rubbed his forehead. No wonder the pirates were getting bolder. They had no reason to fear the Harmony Defense Force. Admiral Davis said carefully, "What do you know about the pirates' capabilities?" "They use old Harmony ships," Kethvor said. "Technology we abandoned decades ago. Their weapons are primitive compared to ours, but they're winning. They are more ... aggressive than we expected." The meeting was interrupted by an urgent communication from the bridge. A junior officer appeared on the display, his face filled with panic. "Admiral, we're receiving a distress call from the Titan station. They're under attack right now." Davis stood up immediately. "How far away?" 2 hours at maximum speed, the officer said. "Launch all available ships," Kethvor ordered. "Prepare medical teams for survivor assistance." "No," Davis said firmly. "Admiral, with respect, you're doing exactly what you've always done. Pirates expect that response. They're counting on it." "Then what do you suggest, Colonel?" Davis turned to his team. "Sergeant Nina Brooks, are your people ready?" Sergeant Brooks was a demolitions expert who had volunteered for the alien assignment. She was small but tough, with the kind of calm confidence that came from years of dangerous work. "We're ready, sir," she said. "My team has been studying the pirate tactics. We know how they operate." "What are you proposing?" Admiral Kethvir asked. "We don't respond to the distress call," Davis said. "We let the pirates think they have time to complete their raid. Meanwhile, we position our ships to cut off their escape route." The alien officers looked shocked. "But the people on Titan Station," one of them protested, "they need help." "They need the pirates stopped," Davis said. "Rescuing them after every attack doesn't solve the problem. We need to make the pirates afraid to attack in the first place." It took an hour of argument, but finally, Admiral Kethvor agreed to try the human approach. The Harmony ships moved to intercept the pirates, not to rescue the victims. When they arrived at the ambush point, Davis was on the bridge of the flagship. The pirates were exactly where he expected them to be, loaded down with stolen cargo and moving slowly. 3 ships, Sam Rodriguez reported. Old Harmony cruisers, heavily modified for cargo capacity. "They've sacrificed speed for carrying capacity," Davis observed. "They're not expecting a fight." "Incoming transmission from the lead pirate ship," communications officer reported. The view screen lit up with the image of a creature Davis had never seen before. It was large and muscular, with thick gray skin and red eyes. This was clearly not one of the peaceful Harmony species. "Harmony ships," the pirate leader growled. "You are too late, as always. We have what we came for. Return to your safe worlds, and file your reports." Admiral Kethvor looked uncomfortable. "Perhaps we should negotiate." "No," Davis said. "Open a channel."
Ow.
The pirate leader's eyes widened when he saw Davis. "What is this? You are not Harmony." "I'm human," Davis said simply. "And you're under arrest for piracy." The pirate laughed, a harsh sound. "Arrest? You soft Harmony fools don't arrest anyone. You ask nicely and then run away." "I'm not Harmony," Davis repeated. "Surrender now, or we'll take you by force." "You in what army, alien?" Davis smiled. It was not a pleasant expression. "Sergeant Brooks, are your people in position?" "Yes, sir," came the reply over the com. "Ready to go." "People?" the pirate leader asked, suddenly looking worried. "The ones who boarded your ships while you were talking to me," Davis said. The pirate's eyes went wide. "Impossible. We have sensors. We would have detected any boarding attempt." "You have Harmony sensors," Davis said. "They're designed to detect." Harmony technology. They don't know what to look for when humans are involved. On the tactical display, Davis could see the red dots representing Sergeant Brooks and her team moving through the pirate ships. They had used human stealth technology. To get aboard undetected, "This is Sergeant Brooks," came the voice over the comm. "We have control of all 3 ships. The pirates are secured." The pirate leader's face was a mix of rage and disbelief. "How? How did you get past our defenses?" "We didn't go past them," Davis said. "We went through them." Admiral Kethvor was staring at the tactical display. "Your people are inside the pirate ships? How did they survive the boarding process?" "Humans are tough," Davis said. "We can handle things that would kill most species." Over the next hour, the full extent of the human boarding operation became clear. Brooks and her team had used small pods to approach the pirate ships. The pods were too small for the pirates' sensors to detect, and they had attached to the ship's hulls like parasites. Then the humans had cut through the hull with portable plasma torches, something that should have been impossible in the vacuum of space. They had worn simple spacesuits that provided minimal protection, relying on their natural toughness to survive. Once inside, they had moved through the ship's corridors, stunning the pirates with weapons that delivered precisely calibrated electrical shocks. The pirates, who had never encountered humans before, had no idea how to fight opponents who could survive in conditions that would kill most life forms. "The medical teams are examining the captured pirates," Dr. Lisa Park reported. "They're all alive, but they're in shock. They keep saying it's impossible." "What's impossible?" Admiral Kethvor asked. "That anyone could survive what the humans did to board their ships," Park said. "The pirates are convinced they were attacked by some kind of super soldiers or robots." Davis looked at the alien officers around him. They were all staring at him with the same expression of amazement and fear that he had seen on the pirates' faces. "We're not super soldiers," he said. "We're just human. This is what we do. We fight in the vacuum of space, wearing minimal protection," Admiral Kethvor said slowly. "You cut through ship hulls with portable tools. You disable armed opponents without killing them. You do all this as if it were routine." "What is routine?" Sergeant Brooks said as she entered the bridge. "We've done harder things during training. Exercises." The alien officers were quiet for a long moment. "Colonel Davis," Admiral Kethvor said finally, "how many humans would it take to end the pirate threat?" "End it?" Davis considered. "Maybe 50 good soldiers? 100 if you want." "To be sure, 50 humans could stop thousands of pirates?" 50 humans could stop an army," Davis said, "if they had the right support." "What kind of support?" "Ships that can take damage and keep fighting. Weapons that work in extreme conditions. Most importantly, commanders who understand that. Sometimes you have to be willing to fight to protect peace." Admiral Kethvor was quiet for a long time, and he said, "Colonel, I think it's time we learned how to be warriors." Davis nodded. "Then we'll teach you. But understand, once you start down this path, there's no going back. Learning to fight changes you." "The pirates have already changed us," Admiral Kethvor said. "They've shown us that our peaceful ways are not enough. If we must become warriors to protect our people, then that is what we will do." And with those words, the first alien students of human warfare began their education in the art of fighting for peace. Admiral Beth Thompson walked through the training facility on New Harmony Station, watching alien soldiers practice human combat techniques. It had been 6 months since the first pirate raids, and word of humanity's military capabilities had spread throughout the galaxy. The results were mixed.
"How are they doing?"
asked Commander Sam Rodriguez. Joining her at the observation deck, Beth watched as a group of Velnaran soldiers tried to master the art of close-quarters combat. They were graceful beings, tall and slender, but they moved like dancers trying to learn how to box. "Better than expected," Beth said. "Worse than we need?" Below them, Sergeant Nina Brooks was trying to teach a crystalline warrior how to throw a punch. The alien's arm moved in slow motion, telegraphed the attack so obviously that even a child could dodge it. "The problem isn't physical," Brooks called up to them. "It's mental. They've been taught their whole lives that violence is wrong. I'm asking them to go against everything they believe." Beth nodded. She had expected this. You couldn't turn a lifetime of peaceful conditioning around in a few months, but they were running out of time. "Admiral," came a voice from behind her. She turned to see Engineer Tony Martinez approaching with a datapad. "The new ships are ready for testing?" Tony had been working with Harmony engineers to design vessels that could survive human-style combat. The aliens were brilliant at making efficient, elegant ships. But they had never built anything designed to take damage and keep fighting. "Show me," Beth said. They walked to the docking bay where the prototype ships waited. They looked different from normal Harmony vessels. Where alien ships were smooth and flowing, these had armor plating and redundant systems. They were uglier, but much tougher. "We used human design principles," Tony explained. "Multiple layers of armor. Backup systems for everything critical. If one section gets destroyed, the ship can still fight." "The aliens hate them," Commander Rodriguez said. "They think they're crude and barbaric." "They work," Tony said simply. "I've run the simulations. These ships can take 10 times more damage than standard Harmony vessels." Beth was about to respond when alarms started blaring throughout the station. The lights changed to emergency. Red and automated voices began announcing a priority alert. "All personnel to emergency stations. Unknown fleet approaching from the Galactic Rim. All personnel to emergency stations." Beth ran to the command center with Sam and Tony following. Admiral Kethviewer was already there, staring at the tactical display. His face was pale. "Report," Beth ordered. "Long-range sensors detected them an hour ago," Kethviewer said. "Ships unlike anything in our databases. They're not responding to communication attempts." Beth studied the display. The incoming fleet was massive, hundreds of ships in a formation that spoke of military precision. But the ships themselves looked wrong, like they were made of twisted metal and dark energy. "How far out?" she asked. 6 hours at their current speed, the sensor operator reported. "But Admiral, they're not slowing down." "What do you mean?"
There.
"Not decelerating as they approach our systems. They're maintaining attack speed." Dr. Lisa Park entered the command center, her face grim. "I've been analyzing the sensor data. These ships are using technology we've never seen before. Energy signatures that don't match anything in the Galactic database." "Aliens?" Beth asked. "Not from this galaxy," Lisa said. "The energy patterns suggest they come from outside the local group entirely." Counselor Zefka arrived with a delegation of Harmony leaders. They all looked terrified. "Admiral Thompson," Zefka said, "we need to know. Are these more of your people?" "No," Beth said firmly. "These aren't human ships. We've never seen technology like this." "Then who are they?" Shh. Before anyone could answer, the communications system crackled to life. A voice spoke in a language none of them recognized, but the universal translator managed to convert it. "Beings of this galaxy, you have been found. You will be consumed. Resistance is irrelevant. Your resources will be absorbed. Your knowledge will be added to our own. Prepare for harvest." The message repeated 3 times, then cut off. The command center was silent for a long moment. "Consumed?" Kethviewer asked quietly. "Hey, they're not here to conquer," Lisa said, her voice shaking. "They're here to destroy everything." Beth looked at the tactical display. The enemy fleet was still 6 hours away, but it was moving fast. "And there were so many ships. How many vessels do we have available?" she asked. 300 Harmony defense ships, Kethviewer said. 50 of the new hybrid designs, 20 human vessels. "Against how many?" "Over 1,000, the sensor operator said. "Maybe 1,500. It's hard to get an exact count." The numbers were terrible. Even with the new ships, they were outnumbered 4 to 1. "We need to evacuate the civilian populations," Zefka said. "Get them away from the core worlds." "Evacuate to where?" Beth asked. "If these aliens can travel between galaxies, nowhere is safe." "Then what do we do?" Beth looked around the room at the faces staring at her. Aliens who had lived in peace for centuries, now facing the possibility of total destruction. Human officers who had fought many battles, but never anything like this. "We fight," she said simply. "Fight." Zefka looked horrified. "Admiral, you saw the numbers. We can't win." "Maybe not," Beth said. "But we can make them pay for every system they take. We can show them that this galaxy won't go quietly." Admiral Kethviewer straightened up. "What do you need?" "Every ship we have," Beth said. every trained crew. And I need you to do something that goes against everything the Harmony has ever stood for. What? I need you to give me complete military authority. No committees, no votes, no debates. When I give an order, it gets followed immediately. The Harmony leaders looked at each other uncertainly. Their entire civilization was based on consensus and discussion. Admiral Zefka said carefully, "What you're asking for is essentially military dictatorship." "Yes," Beth said. "For the duration of the crisis, I need absolute authority. Because in 6 hours, we're going to be in a fight for the survival of everything we care about. And fights aren't won by committees." The debate that followed lasted 30 minutes. Beth watched the clock, knowing that every second of argument was a second less time to prepare. Finally, Counselor Zefka spoke for the group. "Admiral Thompson, the Harmony Council grants you emergency military authority. All forces will follow your commands." "Thank you," Beth said. Then she turned to her staff. "Sam, get every ship crewed and ready for combat. Nina, I want all the trained alien warriors on the frontline ships. Make sure the new vessels are fully armed." "What about the civilians?" Kethvior asked. "The best way to protect them is to stop these invaders here," Beth said. "If we fall back, we just give them more time to bring up reinforcements." Over the next 5 hours, Beth organized the largest military operation in galactic history. Ships from dozens of worlds converged on the point where the enemy fleet would arrive. Alien crews who had never fired a shot in anger were given crash courses in combat tactics. The humans worked alongside beings they had met only months before, trying to prepare them for a type of warfare none of them had ever imagined. Admiral Nina Brooks reported, "The alien crews are scared, but they're ready. They know what's at stake." "How about morale?" "Better than expected. Having humans alongside them helps. They know we've done this before. It's 1 hour until contact." Beth stood on the bridge of the flagship, looking out at the fleet she commanded. 370 ships, representing every species in the Harmony. Many of them would not survive the next few hours. "Admiral," the communications officer said, "we're receiving a message from the enemy fleet." "Put it on," same voice from before filled the bridge. "Final warning to the defenders of this galaxy. Withdraw your forces. Cannot stop the harvest. Your resistance will only cause unnecessary suffering." Beth keyed the response channel. "This is Admiral Beth Thompson. Of the Combined Galactic Defense Force, you want this galaxy? Come and take it." The enemy response was immediate. "So be it. Your defiance is noted. It will be remembered when your species is judged." Beth smiled grimly. "They have no idea what they're dealing with." "What do you mean?" Kethvor asked. "Think we're just another peaceful civilization that will crumble at the first sign of real violence," Beth said. "They don't know about Earth. They don't know what humans can do. And they definitely don't know that we've been teaching the rest of the galaxy how to fight." The enemy fleet dropped out of hyperspace directly in front of them. The ships were nightmarish things, all dark metal and pulsing energy. They looked like they had been grown rather than built. "All ships," Beth announced over the fleet communication system. "This is it. Remember your training. Fight for your worlds. Fight for your families. Fight for your freedom. Show these invaders what the children of paradise can do when they learn to be warriors." The two fleets rushed toward each other at incredible speeds. In minutes, the battle would begin, and for the first time in their history, the peaceful species of the Harmony would fight for their very survival. The first salvo from the Devourer fleet lit up space like a deadly fireworks display. Energy beams that could melt planets struck the defensive formation, but Admiral Beth Thompson's ships held their positions. "Damage report," Beth called out. From the bridge of her flagship, 17 ships hit, reported Commander Sam Rodriguez, but the new armor is holding. "We lost 3 vessels, but the others are still fighting." Beth nodded grimly. In the old days, 17 hits would have meant 17 dead ships. The hybrid human-alien technology was proving its worth. "Return fire," she ordered. "All ships target their lead vessels." The combined fleet opened fire with everything they had. Human plasma cannons, Harmony energy beams, and crystalline particle weapons all struck the enemy formation. To Beth's satisfaction, several Devourer ships exploded in brilliant flashes. They can be hurt, Admiral Kethvor said with surprise. Their ships aren't invincible. Nothing is invincible, Beth replied. You just have to hit it hard enough. Captain Leo. Foster's voice came over the communication system from his strike ship. Admiral, my team is ready for boarding operations. Leo commanded the first mixed-species special forces unit in galactic history. Human Marines fought alongside Velnaran warriors, crystalline soldiers, and even some reformed pirates who had joined the defense force. Stand by, Leo, Beth said. Wait for your opening. The battle raged for 2 hours. Ships on both sides were destroyed, their wreckage creating a deadly debris field. But, slowly, the defenders began to gain the upper hand. The aliens had learned to fight like humans, accepting losses to achieve victory. Admiral, the sensor operator called out, the enemy is pulling back. They're regrouping at the edge of the system. Beth studied the tactical display. The Devourer fleet had lost almost half its ships, but so had the defenders. Both sides were badly hurt. They're not retreating, she realized. They're calling for help. As if to confirm her words, space around the enemy fleet began to ripple. New ships were arriving, more than before. The second wave was twice as large as the first. How is that possible? Kethvir asked. How many ships do they have? Doctor. Lisa Park's voice came from the science station. I've been analyzing their technology. I think I understand what we're dealing with. Tell me, Beth said. They're not just conquerors, Lisa said. They're survivors. I think their own galaxy was destroyed, and they've been traveling from galaxy to galaxy, consuming everything they find to build more ships. You mean they've done this before? Many times? They've probably destroyed hundreds of galaxies over millions of years. The implications were terrifying. The galaxy wasn't facing raiders or conquerors. They were facing an extinction event. Admiral, came an urgent voice from the communications station. We're receiving a transmission from the enemy fleet. But it's not from their command ship. Put it through. The voice that came through was different from the harsh commands they had heard before. This one sounded tired, almost sad. Defenders of this galaxy, can you hear me? This is Admiral Thompson. I can hear you. My name is Kethvor. I am what you would call a prisoner aboard this fleet. My people were consumed 3 galaxies ago. Beth exchanged glances with her officers. What do you want? I want to help you, Kethvor said. The Devourers are not evil as you understand it. They are desperate.
Ow.
Their original galaxy was destroyed by something even worse than they are. They consume others to survive. That doesn't excuse what they're doing, Beth said. No, but it explains it. It means there might be another way. What way? Stop running. Stop consuming. Find a place to make a final stand. Your galaxy has something mine did not. What's that? Warriors who fight not just for survival, but for others? The Devourers respect strength. If you can prove that, this galaxy will fight to the end. They might listen to an alternative. Before Beth could respond, the transmission cut off. Moments later, the second wave of enemy ships attacked. This time, the battle was even more brutal. The defenders fought with desperate courage, but they were outnumbered 3-1. Ship after ship was destroyed, taking brave crews with them. Can't hold them, Kethvor said, as another explosion lit up the view screen. We're losing too many ships. No, Beth said firmly. We hold the line here. If we fall back, they'll just roll over the entire galaxy. Admiral, Captain Leo Foster, called, my boarding teams are in position. We can hit their command ships if you give us an opening. Beth looked at the tactical display. Leo's idea was suicide. To get close enough to board the enemy ships, his teams would have to fly through the heaviest fighting. Do it, she said. Leo's strike ships dove into the enemy formation like arrows shot into a storm. Half of them were destroyed before they could reach their targets. But the survivors managed to dock with 3 Devourer command ships. What happened next became legend throughout the galaxy. Leo's mixed species. Teams fought their way through alien corridors designed for beings twice their size. Human Marines used their natural toughness to survive in environments that would have killed their alien teammates, while the aliens used their natural agility and intelligence to outmaneuver enemies. who had never faced such cooperation. "This is Leo," came his voice over the radio, broken up by static and weapons fire. "We're on the command deck of their flagship. You're not going to believe what I'm seeing. What is it?" Beth asked. "They're not monsters. They're refugees. Of them crammed into these ships. Families, children, elders. They're all here." The fighting around the command ship suddenly stopped. The Devourer fleet held position, but stopped firing. "Admiral Thompson," came a new voice, deeper and more authoritative than before. "I am Prime Devourer Zenkar. Your warriors have reached our core ships. They could destroy us all, but they have not." "Why?" Beth thought carefully before answering. "Because we're not like you. We don't destroy entire populations, even when those populations threaten your own. We find another way." There was a long pause. "Your warrior, Leo Foster, wishes to speak with you." Leo's voice came through clearly now. "Admiral, you need to see this. They have children here, families. They're not evil. They're just afraid and homeless." "What are you proposing?" Beth asked. "What if we found them a home? A place where they could stop running and consuming others?" Where it was Dr. Lisa Park who answered. "The Kepler Nebula. It's massive, full of resources, but no intelligent life they could build there without hurting anyone." Prime Devourer Zenkar spoke again. "You would give us sanctuary? After we attacked you?" "In exchange for an end to the harvesting," Beth said. "You help us rebuild what was damaged, and we help you find a new home." "Why would you do this for us?" Beth thought of all the species in the Harmony who had learned to fight for others instead of themselves, because that's what warriors do, and protect those who can't protect themselves. The negotiation that followed took 12 hours. In the end, the Devourer fleet agreed to settle in the Kepler Nebula. They would share their advanced technology in exchange for resources and assistance in building a new civilization, but more importantly, they agreed to spread word to other Devourer fleets about the galaxy that had chosen compassion over conquest. 6 months later, Admiral Beth Thompson stood in the newly completed Deathworld Academy on New Harmony Station. The first class of alien warriors was graduating, not just in human combat techniques, but in the human philosophy of fighting for others. Captain Jake Morrison, now promoted to Fleet Admiral, joined her on the observation deck. "How do you think they'll do?" he asked, watching the graduation ceremony below. "Better than we did," Beth said. "They've learned something we had to discover the hard way." "What's that?" "That being strong isn't about being able to destroy your enemies. It's about being strong enough to make them into friends." Below them, warriors from dozens of species stood together, representing every world in the galaxy. They wore a new uniform that combined human practicality with alien elegance. On their shoulders was a patch showing a blue world surrounded by stars, representing Earth and the lesson it had taught the galaxy. The ceremony concluded with an oath that had been written jointly by human and alien philosophers. The new warriors promised to protect the innocent, defend the weak, always seek the path that led to peace. As the crowd dispersed, Beth noticed a group of young Devourer refugees among the graduates. They had volunteered to serve in the Galactic Defense Force, wanting to protect their new home. "Admiral," one of them said as they passed, "thank you for showing us that there was another way." Beth smiled. "Thank you for being brave enough to take it." Later that evening, Beth stood on the station's observation deck, looking out at the stars. The galaxy was at peace, but it was a different kind of peace than before. It was peace protected by warriors who understood that sometimes you had to fight to preserve what you loved. In the distance, she could see ships from 100 different worlds working together to build new colonies, explore distant systems, and protect their shared home. The children of paradise had learned to be strong, and the warriors from the death world had learned to be wise. The galaxy was no longer soft, but it was still good. And that, Beth thought, was the best possible outcome. Humanity had found its place among the stars, not as conquerors, but as teachers and protectors.